Ever wondered why Italy, a country renowned for its rich history, stunning landscapes, and mouth-watering cuisine, might not be the perfect holiday destination for everyone? Yes, Italy, with its iconic Colosseum standing tall in Rome, the breathtaking canals of Venice, and the culinary capital of Naples, has a lot to offer. Not to mention the country's vibrant arts scene that gave us masters like Michelangelo and Da Vinci. Yet, despite its undeniable charm and allure, Italy may not be the ideal destination for every traveler. Our journey today is not to discredit Italy's magnificence, but rather to shed light on a few aspects that could make the country a less than perfect fit for some. We'll be exploring a few reasons why Italy, despite its wealth of attractions, might not suit every traveler's taste or expectations. So, buckle up and get ready for a different kind of tour. Let's dive into why Italy might not be your cup of cappuccino. First on our list is the overwhelming tourist crowds. Italy, with its rich history, world-renowned cuisine, and stunning landscapes, is a magnet for tourists from around the globe. Every year, millions of people flock to this beautiful country to experience its unique charm and allure. But this popularity comes at a cost. Imagine this: you've been dreaming of visiting the Colosseum in Rome, an architectural marvel that has stood the test of time. You've pictured yourself standing in its grand arena, taking in the echoes of gladiators past. But when you finally get there, you find yourself shoulder to shoulder with thousands of other tourists, all vying for the same experience. The queues are long, the noise is deafening, and your dream of a serene moment in the ancient amphitheater is replaced by a chaotic reality. Or consider the romantic city of Venice, with its winding canals and picturesque gondola rides. Unfortunately, the reality can often be far from the dream. The narrow streets of Venice are jam-packed with tourists, making it almost impossible to enjoy a leisurely stroll. The gondolas, once a symbol of peaceful Venetian life, now bob in the water, filled to the brim with visitors. Then there's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, a sight that's on many a bucket list. But once again, the throngs of tourists often make it a less than enjoyable experience. The peace and tranquility you might have envisioned are replaced by the hustle and bustle of countless visitors, all trying to snap that perfect photo. And it's not just the major attractions. Even the quaint, lesser-known towns that were once a respite from the tourist crowds have seen a surge in visitors in recent years. The rustic charm of these towns is often overshadowed by the influx of tourists, making it difficult to truly experience the authentic Italian lifestyle. So if you're not a fan of crowds, Italy might be a bit too overwhelming for you. Next up, we have the high cost of living. Italy, the land of la dolce vita, is undoubtedly rich in culture, history, and gastronomical delights. However, it's also rich in another aspect: costs. From the moment you set foot in this Mediterranean gem, you may find that your wallet becomes significantly lighter. Let's start with accommodations. Whether you're dreaming of a rustic villa in Tuscany or a sleek apartment in Milan, be prepared to pay a pretty penny. Even modest lodgings can be quite costly, especially in the more popular cities like Rome and Venice. Then there's dining. Oh, the food. Italian cuisine is world-renowned, and for good reason. But an authentic Italian meal, complete with antipasti, primo, secondo, contorno, and dolce, can quickly add up. Sure, you can grab a slice of pizza or a panino on the go, but even these can be pricier than you'd expect, particularly in tourist hotspots. Transportation isn't cheap either. Train tickets, taxis, and public transportation fares can take a chunk out of your budget. And if you're thinking of renting a car to explore the countryside, you'll have to factor in the cost of fuel, which is among the highest in Europe. And let's not forget about attractions. Italy is brimming with must-see sites, from the Colosseum in Rome to the Uffizi Gallery in Florence to the canals of Venice. But each of these comes with an admission fee, and while these fees are worth every cent for the experiences they provide, they can certainly strain a tight budget. In a nutshell, Italy is a high-end destination. Its allure is undeniable, its experience is unforgettable, but it's also a place where expenses can pile up quickly, from the moment you sip your first cappuccino to the last gelato you savor. So, if you're planning a trip on a shoestring budget, be prepared for a reality check. If you're traveling on a shoestring, Italy might not be the most economical choice. Third on our list is the language barrier. Imagine yourself in the heart of Italy, surrounded by the enchanting beauty of its rural landscapes. The olive groves are swaying gently in the breeze, the vineyards stretch as far as the eye can see, and the aroma of fresh baked bread wafts through the air. It's an idyllic setting, right? Well, here comes the twist. You try to order a simple espresso, but the words get lost in translation. The waiter responds in rapid Italian, leaving you scratching your head in confusion. In Italy, particularly in the countryside and smaller towns, English is not as widely spoken as you might expect. While it's true that the younger generation and those working in the tourist industry generally have a decent grasp of English, once you step off the beaten path, you may find yourself in a game of charades as you try to communicate. Navigating through everyday situations like ordering food, asking for directions, or even just trying to buy a bus ticket can become an unexpected challenge. Sure, it adds to the charm and authenticity of the experience, but it can also lead to a fair bit of frustration, especially if you're on a tight schedule, or if you're not particularly adept at language miming. Even if you've taken a few Italian classes before your trip, the regional accents and dialects might catch you off guard. The Italian language is as diverse as the country itself, with variations in pronunciation, vocabulary, and even grammar from one region to another. So, the Italian you learned in your evening class back home might sound quite different from the Italian spoken in a Tuscan vineyard or a Neapolitan pizzeria. Don't get me wrong, learning a few basic phrases can certainly enhance your travel experience, and the locals will appreciate your effort. But if the thought of stepping out of your linguistic comfort zone makes you uneasy, this could be a significant hurdle to consider. If you're not up for a language adventure, Italy might pose some challenges. Scene script. Last but not least, we have the Italian pace. Picture this, a world where time seems to stretch out like an endless river, where the hustle and bustle of life take a backseat to a leisurely espresso at the local cafe or a casual afternoon stroll. Welcome to Italy, where the pace of life is more like a gentle waltz than a frantic dash. Here, the mantra is dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. It's not laziness, but a celebration of life's simple pleasures. It's a lengthy lunch with friends, a slow walk in the park, watching the world go by from a sun-drenched piazza. It's the art of living in the moment, a concept deeply ingrained in the Italian culture. However, for those accustomed to the fast-paced time-is-money culture, this might be a bit jarring. In Italy, a 2-hour lunch break isn't an exception. It's the norm. Shops may close in the afternoon for a riposo, a rest, leaving you bewildered and possibly frustrated if you're used to round-the-clock service. Buses and trains, they might arrive puntuali, on time, or they might not. The concept of punctuality can be somewhat fluid in Italy. It's not unusual for things to start a little late, or for plans to change at the last minute. It's all part of the charm, the Italians would say. Yet this laid-back attitude isn't limited to leisure time. It permeates into the professional world too. Meetings may start later than scheduled. Deadlines might be viewed as flexible, and decisions can take a while to be made. Don't get me wrong, the Italian pace has its own charm. It's a breath of fresh air for those tired of the relentless race against the clock. But it can also be a source of frustration for those who thrive on efficiency and punctuality. So before you pack your bags for Italy, take a moment to consider if you can adapt to the Italian pace. If you're all about efficiency and punctuality, the Italian pace might not be to your liking. In summary, while Italy is undoubtedly an enchanting destination, it might not be for everyone. Let's revisit the key points we've discussed. The overwhelming tourist crowds can make popular Italian sites feel less authentic, and the hustle and bustle can be a bit much to handle. The high costs of living are another point to ponder. Italy, especially its top cities, can be quite expensive, and a trip there might leave your wallet feeling a little lighter than you'd prefer. Then, there's the language barrier, which might prove challenging for those who don't speak Italian. And lastly, we looked at the Italian pace. The laid-back lifestyle, which may seem charming at first, can be frustrating when you're trying to get things done. So, before packing your bags for Italy, Consider these points and decide if it's truly the right destination for you.